Welcome, everyone, to the Fanspeak Network and another episode of Friends of Best Ball. I will have a friend of Best Ball here today. He's just running a little late, so we will be looking for him in 1 minute. That's right. Every Friday, time dependent on my friend of Best Ball, we are going to be doing Friends of Best Ball. Of course, last Friday, we welcomed our new host of the Fanspeak Network, Andrew and Justin. And so we got to know them. And we did of course, BBM draft last Friday. And now they're already in it. If you didn't check it out, they had their first show live draft last night at 9. And so every Thursday at 9, they will have a live draft, and they'll be bringing plenty of other great best ball content here to the Fanspeak Network. So now's a good time to say, like this episode and subscribe to the Fanspeak Network. So I should probably say that. Andrew's in the chat, and I'm talking about you, Andrew. Your ears are burning. So yes. And then today I have the other two guys of the channel. You know them from in season or in our NFL betting card show, and it's Spread and Tyler, but you're going to now know them as faces in the best ball space here on Fanspeak Network. They're going to be doing DraftKings drafts every Tuesday at 4. So you're going to have live drafts Tuesday through Friday. Tuesday with Spread and Tyler, DraftKings. Wednesday, Steve and I around lunchtime. Underdog. Thursday, Andrew and Justin at night, 9 p.m. Every Thursday night, just like last night, Underdog BBM. And then every Friday, I'll be joined by a friend in the space here. But we'll get to know Spread today. Tyler had some work obligations, so I don't think he's going to make it. And Spread lives in Northern California, so he's stuck in traffic, the damn Northern California traffic. So I'm going to pull over Underdog. We can look at some rankings while we are waiting for Spread to jump on. But again, I should also mention, now is a good time to mention, get all the fun, boring stuff out of the way. There's a new Underdog promo. I believe it's up to $250 bonus now, but it's Underdog has a new promo. If you are new to Underdog, use code FANSPEAK, claim your special pick and a first-time deposit offer, I believe up to $250. So take advantage of that. That's a lot of free BBM drafts. And of course, like this episode and subscribe to the Fanspeak Network, because again, live drafts Tuesday through Friday. Plenty of other content and strategy shows. If you didn't check out this week, Steve and I completed our rookies series. Check out deep dives on all the rookies landing spots. We covered part 1, quarterbacks and tight ends. Part 2, running backs, and part 3, receivers. There are some guys that we are very interested in drafting rookies and trying to get ahead of as they rise and rise and rise. And then there's guys that we do not want to touch. And I'm going to give you a hint. Steve compared to Xavier Legette to a very Traylon Burks, Quentin Johnston type profile. So that to me is, I'm going to stay the hell away from Xavier Legette, those raw profiles. Because I'll tell you what, Steve said about Traylon Burks 2 years ago. He was right. He said that about, I drafted a couple Quentin Johnston shares early last year, and he said I wouldn't do that. And he was right. So, not that Xavier Legette's going super high or getting super steam like some of these other rookies, but there are some guys that are just raw just because they got a higher draft capital. He got the end of the first round. Sometimes these teams are doing it so they get that 5th-year option and, have those options. So, but they're raw and they're not really ready to make an impact on their team right away. And some guys are. Some guys are going to slot right into that like wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 role or tight end 1 role. So we'll talk more about that here in a minute, but let me pull over Underdog. We can get talking about that as we wait for Spread to get out of that damn Northern Virginia. My family's from Northern Virginia, Northern California traffic. So I don't know if you guys have, been going through all the other Underdog drafts, but what the great thing about Underdog is now they are, giving a kind of a schedule for what they release each week. And it's really cool because you could kind of plan and budget outside of, wanting to max BBM. I can kind of budget, okay, this is what I want to do this week and this week. And so this week they launched the $4 Chihuahua, the $10 single entry Golden. So it was a single entry, great advance rates. And they launched their puppy, which is the $5. And the puppy is much better. I don't know if you can see it on the on the screen, but it's much better advance rates than it was. No, you really can't. It's much better advance rates than it was last year. So that's what's really nice is, and as we go through here, and I'm sure Andrew and Justin will too on Underdog shows, we'll do some other drafts outside of BBM. But BBM, they're going to be kind of the main ones. But as we see other good drafts that we really like, I'm sure we'll do some other of these contests that are released. But sounds like they're going to be releasing some each week. They're going to give you a schedule of what they're releasing each week, which is really, really nice. And that way you can kind of plan for it. So let's look over at some rankings, see what's like jumping out to us here. We've been talking about rookies, and again, check out the rookies series. I believe it's episodes, we got them numbered to make it easy for you, but I believe it's episodes 43, 48, and 49 are the 3-part rookies series on the landing spots, and like how that affects like how much we want to get of these rookies. And it's wild how some of these guys, I'll go to the receiver first, have just flown up the board since the draft, or just already started high. And speaking of Andrew and Justin, they talked about rookies at length before they jumped into their BBM yesterday. So get their thoughts on rookies by checking out their show from last night, episode 49. So check that out too. But you've got Marvin Harrison, who's warranted as wide receiver 1, is going at like literally the 1-2 turn. I mean, he could be, the wide receiver 1 in Arizona. So that's not a huge shock. It's more the risers is wild. And for me, it's tough. Some of these guys that I love as like draft prospects, I just don't love their landing spot. So guys like Malik Neighbors, he's got Daniel Jones as his quarterback. That's just rough for me to pay a 28 ADP price on that. So I don't know how many Malik Neighbors shares I'm going to be getting to. And then you have Roma Dunze, who I loved pre-draft, absolutely loved pre-draft. And now he's around 66. He's definitely fallen since the big board drafts. And so he has fallen, and but yet he's in a very crowded receiver room. So I don't know how much I'm going to be getting of him. And then you got guys like they're just flying up the board, like, Xavier Worthy, warranted, Lad McConkey, warranted, Keon Coleman, warranted, Brian Thomas Jr. I want to get shares of these guys. Look, we got Spread in, which is great. Spread, how we doing?
Good morning, good afternoon. I'm sorry for being late. I usually try to always be on time, and I'm very disappointed in myself.
I blame the Northern California traffic. I started to say Northern Virginia because that's where I'm from, but I blame the Northern California traffic.
I just timed it wrong running my errands this morning. But like they say, better late than never.
That's right.
And
that's right.
A great thing on the bottom of the screen right now. Like, subscribe.
Yeah.
Good thing about being in traffic, I got to listen to almost. I see Justin in the chat. I got to listen to almost all of the show that they had done last night.
Yeah,
I think I got to about when the live draft started in the car.
But they had a lot of good content before the draft. Yeah, I mean, they had charts, they had everything. They killed it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't wait to get a draft going right now.
Absolutely. Well, before we get a draft going, I pulled it up just to look at rankings while I was waiting for my friend. But you are my friend today. You're my friend every day, Spread. But you are my friend of Best Ball today. And I was saying last Friday we introduced Andrew and Justin to the channel, and they're going to be like cranking out Best Ball content. I said, if you've watched the Fanspeak Network, you're not new to this channel. You're a very familiar face of this channel, but you're kind of new to the Best Ball face in this channel. You did NBA drafts, but you are going to be the cranking out DraftKings Best Ball live shows every Tuesday with Tyler, and Tyler wasn't unfortunately able to join us today, but we need to get to know you as like a best ball guy, because people know you as like the betting guy. So can I ask you a couple best ball questions to get to know Spread, the best ball guy?
Let's dive right in, Meg.
Okay. So first I asked Andrew and Justin these questions. I told him, it feels like a dating show. Like, those like 80s dating shows where like the girl was
Love
behind
Connection.
The curtain.
That was the great one.
Thank you. Love Connection. I could not remember. The good news is
Woolery. Our guy Chuck Woolery.
Yes. Okay.
The good news, love in the 80s.
Yes. I won't reveal our exact ages, but you and I are in like a same age kind of bracket. We would probably check the same box on a form, probably in an age range. So we kind of know like the same thing. So yes, I'm thinking of the Love Connection thing where we're behind the curtain. And so So I was asking the guy's question and I would be like, Andrew, same question. I was like, I literally
Yeah, I
sounded
heard
like
that. That was funny.
So anyways, and by the way, I'm still, have not fixed my microphone. So holding my microphone. So really need to deal with that. So if you hear noises, I apologize. So anyways, let's get to know Spread, the best ball guy. And so Spread, let me ask you first, in the emergence of zero RB, what's your favorite draft style? Now it could be different on DraftKings because obviously that's full point PPR as opposed to Underdog, which we'll be drafting today. But what's your favorite draft style? Is it zero RB? Is it hero RB? Do you like going late round QB, hero QB? Like, what are you really lean into hard?
All right. And I don't think I have a style that I'm married to, Meg, just like our dating analogy
Right.
here. I'm playing the field when it
Okay.
comes to these strategies.
That's
Last year,
good.
I really enjoyed the zero RB build.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, I'm not as comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like when I looked through the ADPs last year that there was a lot of players, and some of them were incorrect. Damian Pierce, that I wanted to target late, but that I was comfortable taking and having been some of my players. This year, I don't necessarily feel that way. I do see that there's some late diamonds in the rough. And like I talked about, I was listening to Justin talk about the range with Jonathan Brooks, the Carolina Panthers running back, and how there's more established running backs such as Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler in that range. But I don't want those to be my top guys. So this year, so far what I've done, especially on Underdog, I'm going hero RB to start.
That's what I'm doing so far too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to get these RB running backs in. And Meg, there is going to be some contention on this show, but one thing that we can just grab our hands.
You and I don't agree on everything. We know that. Yeah, that's okay.
But we can follow the yellow brick road on the 3 QBs. We are hand in hand.
We're hand in hand there. Okay.
I especially right now. I mean, you're absolutely right. If you're drafting, we don't know before the schedule drops next week, you have to do 3 QBs in my mind. But I'm going to do 3 QBs all year. And my idea there is it's just such the chance. There's such a better chance for these guys to spike in the lineup rather than some of these really, really risky players, right? Where we're counting on maybe an injury or a breakout we didn't see. So right now, I would say my style is hero RB, 3 QB.
Oh, I like it. Well, you and I don't always agree on everything, a lot in the quarterback genre, and we can get to that in a minute, but you and I do agree on that. And I will say, I talked about this in an article, and I think on one of our last shows, I know Peter Overzet put out a really good, like month by month, like way to draft each month of the season on his channel. It was very, very, very helpful. And he talked about how like you can lean into zero RB, more in August, September, when you have all that training camp news. That's when we kind of knew like, okay, Kyron Williams, which I did not jump on it enough, but like, that's when you kind of can read tea leaves more as to those like murkier running back 2 situations. And I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to hammer the zero RB in August and early September drafts and really lean hard into the anchor running back right now. I really love my draft so far with the anchor running back. So I have to agree with that. Okay. Andrew is in the 2 QBs.
Making a good point.
He said 2 QBs for the win. And yeah, we could debate this all day. We could have a full debate style, but no, he said, but
no, because Andrew's coming in with that big confidence. He's basically saying, I don't make mistakes. Yeah, I don't miss, right? I mean, like Kendrick Lamar, you don't miss, right? That's what Andrew's saying too. I don't miss. So these 2 QBs that I'm going to draft are going to be at the top of the board anyways. Why do I need a 3rd clipboard holder? So, maybe I'm just not that confident yet.
He said, I know he made the finals last year, and his finals team, obviously based on, what happened last year with injuries and stuff, was a 3 QB team. Because he said, it's not they never do, but it has to make sense for the build. Any build you build, and that's what. And I just wrote an article that yes, I lean into hero QB running back, as you just said, a lot more than probably most do right now. But that doesn't mean I ignore the receivers. The guys on the show last night pointed out like, look at how fast the receivers go, and you can't be left behind. And so even in a hero running back build, you can still pace yourself with receivers. So I know many other content providers have talked about this pacing. I like to make sure I have 3 receivers through 6, 4 through 8, and 5 through 9 or 10 at the minimum of receivers. And you can still do that in a hero running back, double hero running back, mix in sometimes a hero running back, hero quarterback if you wanted to, or still get a tight. You can do whatever build you want. You just have to make it, like to Andrew's point, it just has to make sense, basically. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm staunchly in the 3 QB thing and the build. And I was, when I wrote the article about like what worked for me last year, what didn't work for me last year, check that out on Fanspeak. I tried to pull some numbers about, okay, what were we talking about? Actually, we had more starting quarterback spread, which is interesting, in 2022, 68, I believe, different quarterbacks in 2022, 66 in 2023. And then 2 years prior to 2021, we had 62. So like, this is a stickier trend than I think people want to believe. Number one. Number two is, that led to only a little over a fourth of the league having their quarterback all season long. When you break it out that way, that's what's wild to me. Last year, only 9 teams had their quarterback for all 17 games. So that's the wild stuff for me. Also, last thing I'll say in the 3 quarterback thing, and I'll probably be, doing more content about this, whether written here on the channel or here on the channel, is not only does it protect for the floor weeks or the injuries, it also helps you have 3 quarterback stacks in the gauntlet that is the playoffs. 3, let's be honest, it's wild that, I think one of the weeks of the playoffs last year, Baker Mayfield was outscoring some of Lamar's and Patrick Mahomes and that kind of stuff. I can't remember which week it was, but it's wild stuff out there. And so 3 quarterback stacks give you some optionality there. So, okay, next question for you. Who was your favorite pick last year you can either do early, mid, late, or just early and late, but who was like your guy? My guy was Sam Laporta. You know that, but like, who was your guy? And it could be, I
should have been ready for this one.
Someone you had high exposure to, and then it paid off. So again, my answer to this question would be Sam Laporta.
Okay, let me see. So in the early rounds, who is someone that I targeted a lot? So I guess for my early rounds, I love the CD Amon-Ra on the turn.
Well, and then that was a whole week 17 stack too.
Yeah,
which ended up working, by the way. I mean, they worked. They were who you wanted in that game. Yeah.
Yeah. So for my high round pick, I would say CD Lamb, because we got him at what? We were getting him at 12 last year, and now he's going at number 2.
Yeah, now like 2, 3. Yeah.
For my late round,
who's your late round? Who's your late round gem?
I think I was like copying late round gems off you guys. I know that
you got a good bit of Laporta, didn't you?
Yeah. So, but I can't use that one because I just, you told me to draft him like on the very first time we did a draft together, and I started doing it. Boy, who was probably my best late round? I had some Texan stacks, but it was so funny because I wasn't targeting those. I always ended up doing it when my Panthers stacks got sniped. So I'll take credit for those Texan stacks, even though they weren't the ones that I was. They
weren't as intentional, but certainly some Stroud stacks paid off last year.
I did have a lot of A-Chain.
Okay,
so that was good.
That's a really good one.
I did a good job of loading up on Miami too. So.
Okay, well, that leads me to my last question. I won't belabor these best ball dating questions too long. Who is your favorite rookie target this year? And it could be an early guy, a late guy, it doesn't matter. Who's your favorite rookie? Any position.
Ladd McConkey.
I like it. I drafted him. I was in the draft with Andy and Justin last night, and I drafted him, and then was able to get Herbert too. So yeah, I like it. I do think.
that Charger, they went over it, and we talk about when we're drafting right now. Kind of what we're doing is, I don't know what the term for betting. It's CLV, right? Closing line value.
Yeah, same.
Is ADP the same deal?
ADP, I think but you're still wanting that closing line value. Yeah.
That Charger stack is going to continue to go up. And I listened to what they said, and this will be my one chance we'll talk about it a little more too. But I know they talked about the situation that Caleb Williams is coming into, and giving it to me from the fantasy perspective. Here's my concern with Caleb and why I can't believe it. You guys are think I'm crazy, but I mean, Caleb's 11 and Herbert's 17. Caleb still, they didn't fix that line. Yeah. They didn't fix that line. So the idea that he's just going to be sitting back there and scanning the field and looking to see if Keenan and all them are open, I don't necessarily think that's the case. And when we look at the Chargers with Herbert at 17, You might say, oh, well, I don't know any of these receivers, and, I don't think they're that good, but he's going to have so much time to throw. And the running backs are going to be getting involved. He's going to be looking a lot of 2nd and 5s, a lot of 3rd and 3s with that offensive line. So I know, like, from a fantasy weapon perspective, the Chargers don't look that attractive. I still think that offense is going to be really good. And we've seen it with these elite quarterbacks, right? Well, that's why, they always moved on from wide receivers in New England. That's why when they had the tough choice in Kansas City, they went with Chris Jones over Tyreek Hill, because the idea is when you're an elite quarterback, you can make average guys
look great.
I think that's what they're expecting there. And me, I'm all in on Harbaugh. As a Raiders fan, I absolutely hate that he went there. But I think that he's going to have a great opportunity to raise the level of some of these average weapons that he has.
Yeah, I agree. My only concern is, like, Harbaugh is so run heavy. Greg Roman is so run heavy. Does that make you nervous in Herbert stacks? Because I literally feel like the Michael Scott gift, like I'm ready to get hurt again, on these Chargers stacks, because I was, when I really started getting into best ball in 22, I was really into the Herbert stacks that didn't really end up paying off truly. 23, it started looking good and then just totally fell off the wagon. So I don't know. I think he's totally undervalued, to your point of where he's going and how many quarterbacks are going ahead of him. And I think you're getting a very undervalued stack there that, like you said, will the price might go up. But, like, that's my only fear is, like, the run heavy versus pat.
And here's my counter to that. If they're run heavy, but they're getting first downs, he's still going to have opportunities. I could drop 3 passes in a row, but if I go 3 and out, that's only 3 opportunities for targets. If I'm consistently picking up these first downs, being in these positive situations, like I said, 2nd and 5, 3rd and 3, that's what we want to be in. Now, I know Herbert can bail him out of 3rd and 8, and it feels like they asked him to do that a lot over these last 2 years. But if we're putting him in these favorable situations, that's where I think we're going to be able to see the good line and the good quarterback make these average receivers look better than they really are.
Well, and did they improve their defense enough? Because they still, maybe in a situation where they're going to have to throw being behind, theoretically being behind just by the schedule they play, right?
Yeah, I think defenses are so tough, especially when you're switching coordinators, because I think so much of the coaching matters. And I think that unlike the offense, these big name players, while they're cool, like Khalil Mack and Bosa are great. It is an 11-man unit. They're going to target the opposing offenses are going to target the weakest link.
Oh, that's
so
right.
Great as Khalil Mack is.
Yeah, they kept the old defense guys and got rid of the offense. That's right.
I mean, if there's the third corner is too weak, which I don't know right now. As we get to August, we'll have a better idea. If the safeties are weak, right? If there's a hole on the linebackers, that's where they're going to attack. So I'm not ready to make a case on the Chargers defense yet, but for a former quarterback, I would say that Harbaugh coaches like a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
He doesn't coach like he played quarterback.
Right, for sure. And I guess my point is, even if they are generally run heavy, like you said, it could lead to just better opportunities to score.
The 49ers are run heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take some Brock Purdy. I'll take some Deebo Samuel. I'll take some Brandon Ayuk. I'll take some George Kittle, right? I think that was the stack I built when I did the show with Simon last week. I targeted Chiefs and 49ers, and I said, I'm getting the 2 teams that were in the Super Bowl last year, right? And, and we'll see how it turns out. So I don't think that run heavy should be a draw at all. Even Miami, I think, would be. McDaniel's quote unquote run heavy.
Yeah,
I'll take some Tua, and we're going to get into that in a bit.
And so is McVay. McVay, that's why he picked up Corum. He doesn't want to, run Kyron too hard. I still love Kyron Williams because I think the McVay, and McDaniels come off that Shanahan tree. So yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Before we get into the draft spread, you said you had to crush me on Jaden Daniels. I have made it crystal clear my thoughts on Jaden Daniels as a Washington fan. Andrew has made his thoughts.
We're not going to relitigate this for too long.
Okay. But what do you have
this
to
is where, right?
I know
that Andrew and Justin are your friends, but they were very nice to you on this last show.
Okay. Well,
very nice, right? And I'm going to be that friend that says, you know what? Maybe this person that you're dating isn't the right person for you, even if it makes you mad at me, right? Okay. Because, hey, I got to be honest here. So I listen, and you're talking, and you're worried about Jaden Daniels' durability, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay.
Okay.
And then you know what you did on that very show?
What?
You targeted Anthony Richardson,
right?
Who has never even completed a game as a pro.
I know.
And then you targeted Tua Tagovailoa, who is one concussion away from permanent retirement.
He got through all of last season, though. Those jiu-jitsu classes of learning how to fall helped him. I wrote about this, though, spread. Okay, so fair point. But listen, I said it's in the short that I did last week. So my counter to this is fair, but I said this in a short and I said this in an article, and I'll try to make it quick. What I said in the short was because like the way the new payout structure is on Underdog, I love it. I love that it's flatter. You get paid off to make the playoffs better. You get paid off to if you can make the finals, you get paid off way better. So like, I just want my advance rate to be as high as possible. That is my ultimate goal. Like I am of course going to be keeping in mind playoff schedules in week 17 and all that stuff. Like making sure that my team is built to advance to playoffs and get that top 2 in the pod is my number one goal. And so I said in a 4-part thing in one of the shorts, check it out on the Fanspeak Network. One of my things was, am I interested in players that are injury prone or coming off an injury like a Nick Chubb? Yes. Am I going to ever build an all injury team? No. I also said in an article of ways I'm going to do things differently is I will like lean into some of these like rushing quarterbacks that scare the hell. We've talked about this ad nauseum on many different shows. These running quarterbacks scare the hell out of me that I don't even think, even if we bet their props, I'm nervous if they're going to make it through the game, let alone a season in best ball. So they scare the hell out of me, but I'm going to mix them in more, but I will likely do it with a pocket passer. And so I did count Tua as a pocket passer, and I can't remember my third quarterback in that one. So I will likely,
because you didn't get Tua, you got sniped there. But I was just saying, I was listening to it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And I was going crazy. I'm like, how are they not? How can you say Jaden Daniels is not durable and then draft Anthony Richardson?
I mean, I might have to do 4 quarterback bills with Jaden Daniels, but no, I'm going to
with Richardson too.
I know. So these styles are scary to me. I don't really feel very confident that Jaden Daniels, Anthony Richardson are going to have 17 games for you. Listen, Lamar, think about Lamar.
But we just talked about only 9 of the 32 are. So not getting 17 is more likely than
not, right? Yeah. To your point. But then if you add in the style, I mean, Josh Allen has actually made it 2 seasons in a row not missing a game,
which is wild.
It's shocking. He runs so recklessly. And I'm not, listen, by the way, I'm not wishing injury on any of these men. I hope everybody stays healthy. And
but they're 250 pounds and they're all on steroids and they're running into each other at full speed. What do you think's going to happen?
Exactly. I just try to be realistic. Again, I wish everybody could stay healthy, but it's football and that's just not it's not the reality. It's inevitable that injuries happen and some guys are just running more recklessly, right? And so it's shocking that Josh Allen has made it 2 seasons in a row without even missing a game. So like these running guys make me a little more nervous, but I want to be more willing to take them this year, but I'm going to back them up with 2 like safer, probably more pocket passers. But I made the mistake last year, and I wrote about this in my article, what I did right, what I did wrong, that kind of stuff, things I'm trying to learn lessons from, is that I would sometimes draft like 3 pocket passers. And it's like, that's not giving me any ceiling. Like when I was drafting like I'm trying to think of it. And I'm not talking about like the Dak and Herbert. I'm not talking about Dak and Herbert. And I'm not even talking about them because they have 3-4 touchdown games in their bag so often, and so like guys like her, they'll run a little. I'm talking about like I would draft like Goff, Stafford, and Cousins. Mac Jones. And it's like, okay, there's literally no ceiling there, like with those 3, but they do provide I think like a decent floor and stuff like that. So that's the thing I'm trying to be a little bit more careful on. Andrew said, please never for.
Yeah. Okay. I'll agree with him there.
No.
Okay. Finally, and then we'll put this to rest because otherwise we'll be arguing all summer.
Yeah. We argue about quarterbacks a lot. That's just is the way it goes.
Okay. In January, when the season just ended and we haven't done our prep, I will accept a Jaden Daniels RG3 comparison. But now that we've really done the work, I feel like it's a lazy comparison. I feel like I don't consider Jaden Daniels to be a running quarterback. I think he's going to be great from the pocket. I mean, obviously he can run, but I'm just saying, if you looked at their college tape, you give me RG3 at Baylor going against the Big 12 compared to Jaden Daniels in the SEC. I think that Jaden Daniels' top 10 throws are better than any throws you're going to find from RG3. I think he has a lot better pocket presence than you're giving him credit for, and I don't want to label him as a running quarterback. And I know that we'll agree to disagree there, but I just had to get that out because I was pulling what I have left of my hair out, listening to Andrew and Justin be so nice to you and just let all this slide as you were drafting Anthony Richardson while complaining about Daniel's durability.
Okay, well, I know I have the same concerns about Anthony Richardson's durability, but I am going to take Anthony Richardson and Jaden Daniels. I'm just going to back them up with two quarterbacks that I feel like are safer. But again, like you said, probably only 1/4 of the damn league is going to make all 17 games. So who the hell knows? But that's how I'm going to handle it to that point. To your point, I do think, and after watching people, I'm not a scout, but after watching scouts that I trust their eyeballs, I do agree that from everything I've heard and read that he's definitely a better passer than RG3. So it's the comparison that scares me is I do think he's a running quarterback, and it's the 1 year wonder thing. It was 4 years of very average. He would have been a 4th, 5th, 6th round guy any other year. And then he explodes, Heisman, 1 year wonder. That's what scares me. And then, yes, I'm sorry, Spread. He's a running quarterback. His goal is to be like Lamar. That is his goal. His goal is to be like Lamar Jackson. So
I think we're going to see a lot of great. And Lamar's not a bad passer either.
No. But I was just going to make a point about Lamar's durability, which like a lot of running quarterbacks, again, a lot of quarterbacks, period, but a lot of running quarterbacks. He's had 2 MVPs. Knock out his rookie year. He came in halfway through and did great. But like, he had then he had 2 MVP seasons. He had 2 seasons on the IR. And then he had the COVID season where he got like COVID twice. And he was good. He was good. He was great. I mean, he wasn't amazing. He wasn't bad. He was great. So you're going to have to take the good with the bad. And that goes for durability. And I just think that's the honest truth. So like when you and Spread, Tyler, we did like a show a couple weeks ago and you were like, oh, I can't wait till week 1 and he has this game, and I'm like, oh, I have watched this movie before. Saints week 1 of 2012.
I know, you already told me.
It was like electric. I mean, Andrew,
I gotta wait till like year 3 of his like third Pro Bowl that's what I mean. Victory lap this. Before you can victory lap this, you have to wait 3 years, my friend. Because Andrew's.
And
I'm gonna work on my stamina too. It's gonna be a victory half marathon, Meg.
Well, it's going to have to be because you're going to don't be taking a victory lap after week 4, because I've watched this movie. 2012 was electric for Washington fans, but it fell off the cliff really, really fast. And I wish better for Jaden Daniels. I just don't have a lot of confidence. But anyways, I got all my, questions. Is there anything else that people to round it out? And then we'll start a BBM draft. Is there anything else you want people to know about you and your best ball drafting style?
Yeah, I mean, if we're here touting ourselves, the reason that I'm doing the DraftKings and we're letting Andrew and Justin, those guys do the Underdog.
Oh, they love Underdog. I like Underdog better. Go ahead.
Yeah, I believe DraftKings is softer. I believe you get more casual drafters that play the daily contests that just want to make a couple drafts. I think that most of the people you're competing against in Underdog have 150 draft schedule. I think they're like you, Meg, where they're going, I'm building hero RB in May. I'm building, I'm targeting rookies in June, and I'm doing 30 drafts per month. And they've really scheduled it and they really thought about it. And I feel like in DraftKings, I'm more competing against the guys that have had a couple of years.
Guys that are just playing around.
They're like, you know what? I want to do a best ball draft. Yeah. So that's why I'm doing DraftKings. The other thing I like about DraftKings is I feel that I personally do better in the full point PPR system. I know that you talk about touchdown hunting some more. Maybe in my mind, and I could be completely wrong here, but I feel like there's less variability with the DraftKings system, whereas touchdown hunting can, you get those huge spikes here and there. But regardless, that's kind of one of the reasons that I've really decided to focus on DraftKings. And I'll be doing the Underdog too. I'll probably had 30 to 40 last year, and I'll probably double that this year. I don't know if I'll get to the full 150. But yeah, I'll still be doing plenty of Underdog, but that's one of the reasons why I'm targeting DraftKings, and that my content on Fanspeak will be focused more towards the DraftKings. And the main things that I'm focusing on is I think that I'm better at full point PPR. And I think those draft rooms are softer. So we're going to take advantage of that.
Okay. Well, I love that. And check Tyler and Spread every Tuesday at 4. Tuesday at 4 is what it's looked mostly, right?
Yeah, that's what probably you do.
Every Tuesday at 4 to catch the DraftKings streets, because that's a great thing. We're going to cover best ball from all sides, and I'm sure Steve and I will eventually do some drafters drafts too, which is season long. I wouldn't be surprised if Underdog released a season long contest, but Steve and I will get in the drafters streets a couple times, and we're going to cover all aspects of best ball on this channel. So, and to your point about why you like DraftKings and full point PPR, you know me, you do betting shows with me every week. What's my favorite kind of bet?
Anytime touchdown.
Exactly. There you go. You nailed it. You know me well.
Yeah, if you can figure those out, it's fantastic.
So exactly. You know what I've started doing too, Spread, before we start the draft? I literally, as I'm like going through a draft, this is like really geeking out. I literally start to think, like, as we go down the board, like, wonder week 1 what their anytime touchdown number would be. You know what I mean? Like, and if their number would be like plus 400, then like maybe I'm reaching a little too far. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's going to take an injury for them to jump in.
Everybody's going to be about minus 200, I'll bet.
Yeah.
I think last year's 2+ TDs was getting to be minus money.
It was like basically
minus
even
120
money
for 2 TDs.
It was an unreal. It was absolutely unreal. Okay, so we're going to bring over Underdog now. Okay. And we're going to jump.
Pulled up whenever you're ready to enter.
Okay. Yeah. Let me pull it up. Okay. Since just 2 of us, hopefully we can get in. If Andrew or anybody wants to jump in, I'm going to do a quick countdown and hopefully we can all get in. So 3, 2, 1, clicking enter. Oh my God. Why is it the location thing? Oh, did you get in, Spread?
No, yeah, but we're waiting on 10 people.
Oh, okay.
It should be good.
Why does it do this damn thing?
If it fills to like 11, I'll leave it. I'm still waiting for 9 people.
It did this last time.
I know. I remember that happening to you last time you did it too.
Oh my God. I'm going to lose.
Do you have like an ad blocker on or something?
I didn't think so. If anybody's in I'm not the most tech savvy person in the world. Let me see if I can do it. What do I have to do?
So what is it saying? I can't read it.
It says like about the location.
You gotta, it's blocked.
Or it says third-party cookies are allowed.
Do you want me to leave this draft and then
leave the draft? Leave the draft.
If you guys are watching, leave it. Yeah,
okay.
I think
go to your setting and check for ad blocker. What do I have to do it on? Okay, I'll let you talk about anything, riff about anything else possible. Andrew, if you could put in chat, ad blocker.
Yeah, so I think what you'll do is you'll go to the top, you'll hit settings, and then you should turn your ad blocker off and you turn your location on. I don't know though, if you are using PC or Mac.
A PC. I never have any.
Tyler gets so mad at me because I have an Android, but I have a Mac. I have everything else is Apple.
I never have any ad blocker on. I do not know.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where I can do location here. I mean, I am using Chrome. It should be somewhat similar.
I know. I always use Chrome, and I
go to settings.
On my computer, location privacy settings. So do I need to turn location settings off?
You want location settings on, don't you?
Yeah, that's why I had it. So location settings on.
All right. Well, you do that.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and I'll talk about some of the stuff that I heard them speaking about earlier.
Yeah.
To start, so they were talking about Marvin Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I completely agree with that take as far as like he's going to have a great season, but the cost, that price tag, it's pretty high. And I thought that they encapsulated it perfectly. Just look at the players you can get around there. And the consistency that we're hoping for. So, I'll probably still have some, but to me, he feels like he's going to be like, I did that last year with Bijan too, where I didn't really draft him a lot until about August or September. And I had like no shares of him at all. So I started to grab him just to even things out. But, if I was doing less drafts, I wouldn't have him. And I was trying to think of the top. So obviously when it comes to rookies, I think where you're really getting the value is when you get him in the later rounds with an A chain or a player like that. These high rated rookies, I think it's really hard for them to pay off. And I don't think that Bijan would have paid off his ADP last year. Now, I didn't have a lot of them, so I wasn't following.
Oh, he definitely didn't pay off his ADP.
But yeah, I think that we get excited about these new players and it's a FOMO, to the fear of missing out. But I think that he's way too high. Another one that they discussed, I think, is an interesting situation. And that was the Odunze landing on Chicago. So I think that there's two ways to look at it, right? Because and I'm going to go galaxy brain here, right? The original brain idea is like, oh, there's a lot of competition for targets. I'd say, okay, yeah, that's right. Keenan Allen knows how to get open. DJ Moore, a very great player. And I think even with the quarterback play this year, he's going to look even better. My counter to that and say like why I maybe might be interested in Odunze is he's going to be consistently working against the third corner. He's going to be consistently working on one-on-one coverage. So while I did mention Ladd McConkey earlier, one of my concerns for him is that he'll be getting the opponent team's best corner, and he might even be getting some double coverage if he ends up getting off to a hot start, right? So we could be loving him for the first 3 or 4 weeks and go, boy, I got him here in the 10th round, and it's so great, and my Charger stacks. And then, I think the Chargers will still be good, but maybe his individual production goes down as the opposing defensive coordinators realize he's going to be the focal point of that offense. So I think that could be an argument made for Odunze, the fact that he's not going to be the target of opposing defensive coordinators, and he's going to be working against weaker opposing coverage men, most likely a lot of third corners, a lot of safeties, and maybe in ideal situations, even a linebacker. They talked about Malik Neighbors a lot. And I did agree with a lot of their assessments there. I think that he's got a lot of upside. He has potential to be the best receiver in this draft. I think maybe if his name wasn't Marvin Harrison, we might deal with this a little differently. But it's just already, especially for people our age, remember, hey, this is one of the greatest wide receivers we ever seen. And as time goes by, I think that Marvin Harrison's kind of getting underrated in the course of history for how good he was. But the concern, of course, is Daniel Jones, and will he be able to get him the ball, and how is he going to look in that Dayball style up? And so Neighbors was another guy that I was like, boy, I can't wait to play some of him. I think Jones is going to target him a lot. And I thought the price tag was just too high. So, and I'm wondering, I felt like the consensus for them listening to their show earlier was let these rookies drop because you're going to have the same, you'll be able to get some exposure to them, maybe 5 to 10 later. And I think, was it Odunze that they talked about on the Underdog ADPs? He's going in the 6th round, but in the drafts that they had actually completed, he's going in the 7th or 8th. And when we see that happening, we know that these are usually trends that we can count on. So if you're seeing this consistently in your draft, his ADP is probably going to drop. So what I'm hoping for is that Odunze drops and I'll be able to get him a little later at a price that I'm looking for. So I'm pretty much summing up what they were saying, but my great takeaway from what I heard them doing here is the top rookies are going to be overvalued at this point of the year when we're drafting, and a lot of these other rookies are going to be undervalued. So when you're looking at rookies to be drafting, I'm looking at round 10 on, because I'm looking for the diamond in the rough. I'm looking for the A-chain. I'm looking for the Laporta. I'm looking for the guys that are going to greatly exceed their draft position. And even if Marvin Harrison has a great season and he's rookie of the year, at that ADP, it's still going to be hard to significantly outperform your draft position. So that was a great takeaway I had.
You can hear me okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not letting me type in the chat. Things are going sideways. So here's the plan. My browser is Chrome. Andrew, I've tried like 8 different things. And in the back end, I've tried to enter Chihuahua. I cannot. So I'm going to enter on my phone. Okay. And Spread, is there any way
to share?
Yes. Can you share your screen?
Okay.
Yes.
We'll count down. We'll re-enter, and then I'll share my screen.
Okay. Or do you want to share your screen first?
I can share right now, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You go ahead and do that.
All right.
So thank you for the suggestion, Andrew. Okay, so you want to count me down, Spread, and then I'll jump in.
3, 2, 1, enter.
Okay, 5 more to start.
Okay.
So, Andrew, if you're still in, you want to get in with us? Anybody else want to get in with us? I am so sorry for the technical difficulty. I will figure this out. This is now the second time, but it hasn't happened every time. So I'm very, very, very confused what's going on. So yeah, I am on the draft and on my phone, and Spread is sharing his screen. So this is perfect. So,
all right.
So yes, we are, still waiting for 5. So yeah.
I like drafting late, Meg. So I know I didn't get to see the draft, so I don't even know who you took at number 2 in the one with Andrew, because I think you guys were just starting when I finally pulled in my driveway and was running into the house to start the show. Who do you like at number 2? Who did you end up taking?
I took Liam, and you know me, and Dak Stacks and Cowboy. I mean, I think they are going to, they threw at a very high volume speaking of like high volume passing, low volume passing, they threw at a high volume last year. I think they did not address the running back situation. Obviously, it's going to be Zeke and Dowell, and so who knows if they pick somebody else up along the way. But like, I think they're going to be very high volume passing, and they're good at it too. Dak has been obviously a top 10 fantasy quarterback multiple years in a row. So yeah, I just leaned into CD and Dak and did that. But I've mixed in Hill there at the number 2 spot.
Number 2.
You'd like taking Hill at number 2?
And I think it's going to be one of those things that probably towards the end of the year, when I realize I have barely any CD, because I'm not going to get a lot here early, because if I like Hill more than CD and I'm getting number 2, right? I mean, there's not going to be too many opportunities. And I don't think that this is a common theme. So I don't think there's going to be other drafts where I'm sitting at 4 where he drops to me.
Right.
I think he's the clear-cut top receiver in most people's eyes, and this is just where I'm trying to get different.
Right.
And another thing to point out there, how often do we ever have the same player be the best player 2 years in a row? And I'm going off the top of my head, but I believe that you have to go back to Marshall Faulk when
like the fantasy one.
Dick Vermeil was their coach in The Greatest Show on Turf, and Kurt Warner and Isaac Bruce and those guys. That's the last time that a guy's been number 1 2 years in a row. So that's another reason why I like to get different here. Now,
I'm saying to your point,
I'm taking McCaffrey. But
yeah, I mean, if I have one, I'm taking McCaffrey for sure. Again, speaking to that anchor RB build, and
Tomlinson might have done it. Yeah, that's a good one. And he would have been what, 2006, 2007, and Falk would have been 2001, 2002.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And Andrew, I'm so sorry we missed you in this draft. I apologize for my tech difficulties. I'm going to figure out this whole damn cookies and location block thing and that kind of stuff. I have no idea. I've done so many drafts on stream, and it's just been 2 in the last couple of weeks, but I've had successful ones. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but I will get it figured out. So, so thank you but yeah, to your point, Spread, I haven't gotten it much, and I'm not complaining. I haven't gotten one much. Not that I've done a couple. Not that I've done a ton. I've been tempering my draft before the schedule release next Wednesday, but I don't think I've gotten one, maybe just once. And then I've gotten 2 through 7 a lot. And so I need to get some more.
I actually don't like that slot.
Yeah, I actually like
because I feel the players at 8 to 12, like there's not that much of a drop off. So I'd rather dip into the second round sooner.
I love Garrett Wilson. I want more Garrett Wilson. I just took him.
Oh my gosh, here we go again.
What? You don't like Garrett Wilson?
No, because you have another injury prone quarterback. I mean, he's 40 years old coming off a terrible injury. I mean,
he was going to try to come back last year. I think he's going to be fine by the time training camp rolls around. He was going to try to push it to come back if they wouldn't have.
I think that Tom Brady and LeBron have us messed up, and people aren't supposed to be playing professional sports in their 40s.
I don't know. I think he still thinks he's got a couple years left in the tank, and he's going to. They're obviously going on, and I do think the Jets address things correctly with getting offensive line and more weapons and, that kind of stuff. Okay, we're starting.
I'm at 4. Where are you at?
Let's see. I am 10.
Do we have any of our friends in here from the chat? Is Justin?
No, because we missed it. Andrew is TD King, and he because of my tech difficulties, we couldn't.
Oh, he's in a different one. Okay.
So I think or maybe.
And where are you at?
So you're at 4. I'm at 10.
I wish I could trade you.
Yeah, so we just talked about that. I have not had I literally have had 3 to 8, 2 to 8.
I think 10's great.
Yeah, I like 10. So
you'll be able to get your guy, and maybe you'll prove me wrong. I
hope so.
The thing is, Garrett Wilson could be like a Devontae Adams style deal where it doesn't matter who's throwing to him, right?
It has.
You're wide open. Most people can get you the ball.
That's the whole thesis of this spread. Is he's look at what he's done with absolute hot garbage at quarterback the last.
And who's the backup there now?
Is it Teddy Bridgewater? It's like somebody's stable. I can't remember. No, it's Tyrod Taylor. So that's a good backup.
I would have rather had Bridgewater, but okay.
I mean, Tyrod kind of filled in decent last year for the Giants. So he kind of looked better than Daniel Jones, I thought.
I mean, that's not hard.
That's not a hard bar to clear, though.
I look better than Daniel Jones when I was just throwing the ball around in my front yard.
So what are you thinking here for 4? I mean, I know you need to see if.
I'm going to be able to give you another one of my hot takes, and
let's hear it.
Right, that hot, right? I mean, probably won't burn you or anything. I like Jefferson over Chase.
Okay, so even with Burrow versus Darnold or JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a somewhat hot take, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Justin Jefferson,
Yeah. So Tyreek Hill went 2. We're not surprised about. Oh, I am surprised about that. So this guy, J-Rod.
Okay, so it did go.
Am I the only one without a badge? Unbelievable. All right, I'm going to take Jefferson here.
All right. So
you have a badge?
Yes, I have the black badge. I need to work my way up to the red badge.
Is red better than black?
Red is better than black. Yes, I need to work my way up to the red badge. Right. I think I just need to. Well. I think it's a combination of drafting more and making more money.
My next pick is going to be around 21. So I'm going to grab a running back there, most likely, unless they take these guys. Who do you like better, Williams or A-Chain, if I'm sitting there at that spot? And they're both on the board.
I still like Kyron better, because, Mostert is still there. Yes, I know Blake Corum's now there, and Blake Corum is a very talented running back. I wish he would have gotten a better landing spot. To really,
I know, isn't that crazy? Because he was before the draft, he would have been my favorite one by far.
Oh, yep. Yeah. Same. But I would say Kyron Williams. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like a 60-40 thing. I mean, I think Blake Corum's definitely going to get some work, and I think he's a good kind of will have a little standalone value.
There's no true bell cows anymore, right? I mean,
not much, and I think that's why
it's not like.
That's why they felt like they kind of ran Kyron into the ground, I guess, too much. So, okay. But I still like Kyron. Whereas Mostert, I still think it's going to be more that thunder lightning, and you really don't know what.
And I like the kid they drafted too.
Yeah.
We talked about A-Chain. What's his name?
He's another
Wright?
one.
Jalen Wright.
Apparently there was rumors that Dallas was interested in him. And boy, that would have been.
Can you imagine? He would have been like
that would have. Oh yeah, he would have flown up the boards. Okay, so it's almost to me. Let's see
1,000 drafts. Yeah, I'm not even close.
Let's see, red badges 1,000 in 4 separate contests. I was like, wait a second, I've won over 1,000 in 4 separate contests. Yeah. That's it. Okay, gotcha. Is it okay? I'm on. I got Garrett Wilson. Yay!
I figured you'd be happy there at 10. Now, who are you targeting here on the run back?
That's what I'm thinking about right now. I haven't done many 0 RBs yet, and I have taken some Saquon Barkley multiple times. So I don't know. I could take Barkley or Taylor there, just kind of talking out loud. Or if AJ Brown falls, that would be like screaming value to me. So I think I like Barkley or Taylor above an AJ Brown just went, and then the Marvin Harrison just went.
13, wow. Well, you'll get a running back if you want one.
Yeah, so one of them is going to fall to me.
Who would you rather have? Oh, well, I guess I'll find out right now.
Maybe I'll mix it up here. I've in my hero builds, I've taken a lot of Saquon. So just for the sake of kind of mixing it up, I'm going to do Jonathan Taylor in this one. And then, I have a little break.
Devontae at 16 is wild.
I know. But he kind of fell last year to that area. He said,
did he outperform ADP?
I
mean, he was the top 10 player, wasn't he, last year?
I have to see what wide receiver, what he finished as wide receiver, what. So 1,000 drafts or more than 1,004 or more separate contests. Okay, so I've definitely went over 1,000 on Underdog, but I think it's only been in 2. So okay, interesting. Well, I got to work up to Andrew's red badge status. All right, so you are coming up spread at 21. What are you thinking here?
Unless I'm going to take a running back.
Okay.
Unless they both get taken, in which case, Oh,
because you were talking about Kyron and A-Chain.
Yeah.
I do like what I've done a couple times when I've taken Hills. I've taken Hill Chain because I've talked about like how I like correlating just a team. And then if I get Tua, great. If I don't, great. I just love correlating teams. And I do like getting that. Now, this person had correlated, didn't do that. They have Chase.
So lucky. A-Chain. I did not want to have to choose of those wide receivers.
Okay, so good. So you got
it's not like they're bad, but I mean, there's just so many good options there, right? If you take a wide receiver. But the cool thing is I got my running back and I can get one of these guys. Or what do you think? Boy, I really like Henry and Jacobs a lot here.
Yeah.
I like both those players.
I do too, especially Henry in Baltimore. Like, I mean, people kind of just, so many people poo-poo the old guys, age cliff, all the stuff. And in some cases that's real, but like Henry
he's like the exception that proves the rule. He's like Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while you just get these men that are just, they don't follow the rules,
Exactly.
And hey, hopefully for your Garrett Wilson shares,
for Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Andrew likes Henry over Jacobs. I do. I like both, honestly. I like Jacobs in Green Bay a lot. And then I love Henry in that Ravens offense because the nice thing about Lamar is he actually does not vulture touchdowns. They'll pound the rock and hand it off inside the green zone. So
and I meant to bring this up when we were discussing running quarterbacks early. A lot of it is just the intelligence. And one thing I would give Lamar and Kyler Murray, who I've completely done a 180 on, so don't pull up my shows from 3 years ago and clip me where I'm just running down Kyler saying he's never going to be good, this and that. I completely changed my mind. And what I really like about these guys, they use their quickness to get out of bounds. And I think that's what really helps the longevity, right? Because
yes, of course.
I just don't want my guys taking hits. And in fact, there's the idea that you get a Lamar or a Kyler that scrambles and, does the little sidestep out of bounds and leaves the 2 or 3 there. Wow. Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs both gone. You got to be kidding me.
Right before you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, now I actually have to think. I was auto drafting here. Let's see. Nico Collins, DJ Moore. We got a DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman. You took Taylor, right? All right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go. A Nico Collins, I guess.
I love Nico.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm worried there's going to be some Stroud regression. I'm going to finish my last point because I got a little while before I draft.
I was going to say, while you have a break, can you hit the grid and put up the yeah, there you go. Perfect. And then when you get close,
so go back when we're looking at, sometimes some of these running quarterbacks can be more durable because the pocket quarterbacks can't move and avoid the hits.
True.
Right. Where Kyler is running and just hopping out of bounds every time. Where some slower guys like Cousins or Stafford are just sitting in there getting teed off on. So
this is true. No, that is a very valid point. I'm just queuing up, guys. I'm up in 3.
So let's go to Andrew's point about Jacobs, because I tell you what, I got Jacobs and Henry right there. I have him as almost the exact same ranking, and he makes a great point, right? I love Marshawn Lloyd too as a late round pick. Just the idea of the durability. With Jacobs, they ran him into the ground in Las Vegas, and I think that's why they didn't want to continue to give him money. But here's my reason for thinking Jacobs is just going to be just as good as Henry. I think that is the ideal landing spot of all landing spots, assuming Jordan Love continues to improve. And there's 2 players that I'm not necessarily sold on as far as like in my head, they're not like automatic stars yet, and that's Jordan Love and CJ Stroud. We've seen some regression before, especially with 2 players. on the Texans especially, that did go against easier schedules last year when they were putting up those great numbers. But the idea that, let's say Jordan Love is good and he continues to improve,
which I believe
you're going to have me in these playoffs.
I didn't realize I was on.
I'm sorry.
No. I didn't realize it was my bad. I got messed up too because I had Cooper Kupp queued up and I was so excited and he went 2 picks before me and then I had another.
Yeah, we're getting sniped here, man.
Yeah, this is. I was super pumped. I have no Cooper Kupp shares yet, and I feel like he's going in that area there in the late 30s, late third round, where I'm like, oh, that's a great value. I want to get that, and I can't get it. I keep missing it. Oh, wait, I'm up next. Hold on. So finish whatever thought you're. All
right, yeah, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to talk about what Andrew's saying. I just think that Jacobs. I'll be quick. Jacobs in December. Packers have a lead. That's playoff time. I think he's going to be money. He's just such a tough guy to bring down. And it just feels like Lambeau's the perfect atmosphere. And I think that, this is a tough take to agree with or disagree with. The idea that Stroud threw for more TDs last year than any other rookie QB did and will this year.
I think he wants to book a bet with you there, Spread. I don't know.
No, I mean, basically he'd be giving me what, over 23.5 for the whole field on touchdowns. Is that what Stroud had last year? 23.
I'd have to look it up. Yep.
Yeah.
23. I had to just point out, look at that
little friendly Friends of Best Ball bet there. So I just get the whole field over 23, huh? What if I get some Brock Purdy action here? All right, Meg, I got to switch it back here.
Oh, yeah. You looked at I'm going to talk about my pick. There was a run on quarterbacks in the fourth round. Jalen Hurts went end of third. Then at the turn, it went Lamar 38. Josh Allen fell to 39, and then Mahomes went 40. So I just took the falling value on Allen there. If that's going to happen, I'm going to go ahead and take that. That's another kind of the landscape of best ball and adjusting to it, right? Last year we were paying these premium prices for these guys and it was too rich for my blood. And I couldn't stomach paying a late first or early second for these quarterbacks. And now we're getting them third and fourth. And so I have a lot more interest in getting, the Allen Lamar, Allen Lamar Hurtses of the world, that if I'm getting in third or fourth round. So that's why I took that or Allen there. So who did you take, Spread? You took Tank Dell.
And so I'm going to go for the Texans stack.
Yeah, I like it. Now coming around,
you're looking at these two here. So I got JM Soccer Star. I mean, I guess
you're probably going to have to grab him here coming around the corner.
Oh, of course I am. I'm hoping he gets back to me. But I'm looking at these players and not a lot of correlation so far, right? So I'm looking at JM, and here's his opportunity to correlate here. Still none. He's got a player from San Francisco, Atlanta, Miami, and just took Rachaad White from Tampa. So, yeah, I was a little worried there. Oh, he took Joe Mixon from me, although I'm kind of fine staying away from him. You talked about Jacobs not looking good last year. I mean, Mixon looked done. I mean, to me, his only value last year was usage.
Oh, yeah, the volume he gets, yeah.
All right, let's see. I need one more guy to go away. Oh, and because he had Diggs.
Oh, I was like, wait a second. You got both. You got the double stack. How did that happen? He had Diggs. Yeah. Shit.
I'm definitely not thinking Anthony Richardson, Meg. I'll let you know that right now.
If I would have taken Allen, I would have thought about him.
Then. I don't like these tight ends in this range. Although I guess since I could do a little Baltimore
6 seconds
action here.
Or do you?
Fine, I'll do some Baltimore action. Oh man.
Okay, so you took Andrews, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a heartbreaker, Spread. That was a bad snipe. That hurt me to watch.
It makes sense though. He's got Diggs. I can't even.
Yeah, no. He got Diggs.
On him. He's got. Yeah, I got. So what do you think of Diggs? I'm actually not too high on him.
I these receiver rooms that are super crowded, I'm leaning into, and I was talking about Odunze and how much I loved Odunze. You talked about it pre-draft, loved it. These Bears, Texans, there's a couple others. These receiver rooms that are just really, really crowded of like just 3 studs. I'm like, I'm kind of leaning more into like the alpha guy, like the Nico Collins, like the DJ Moore. And I'm not getting as much as like of the second or third. I don't know if that's going to be a mistake. I'll probably.
Is Nico considered the number one there? Or is Diggs? I mean,
I think Nico's the number one. I think Nico's the alpha there.
I didn't think he'd react if you said you're our number 2 option. I mean, I think that's start throwing his helmet.
Okay, I'm back on the clock here, and Dalton Kincaid made it back to me. I was worried he would not, and I actually got a little value on him too. I usually I had to reach for Dalton Kincaid, so I'm super pumped that I got that. You know me, I'm usually a later quarterback, later tight end girl, and
I don't like that Andrews pick. I think I rushed it.
Oh, well, that's okay. I mean, still.
That's a BBB. Yeah, I like it. Andrew. I'm not thinking about the Andrew. Yeah, I understand it's rookies, but you left out. I mean, what if Spencer Rattler throws for 24 touchdowns?
Oh, for God's sake.
Did you see that video of him like ripping his teammates when he was in high school?
Oh, is that why he felt? I heard there was some high school stuff that like got him in trouble and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you're just like, boy, you look like a jerk.
Okay. All right. I got a falling Xavier Worthy share. If not, I've been able to get, that's another one.
Cup did not go well for me.
Cup and Worthy, I've not been able to get because it's just like every time I'm coming up, they get sniped before me. So I was at least able to get Worthy in this one. And I got a falling Kincaid with Allen. So I'm happy about that. That's very.
I should have not drafted Nico because.
Well, you were going for the Stroud stack. I liked it. And
I know, but this is why I don't like going for that Stroud stack because he's so high on the list, you know.
Oh, because there's multiple stacking partners, so you could definitely get sniped.
If I want to go with Jefferson, right, it's a little easier. Although I don't think that you can get a good stack with Jefferson, right? Because doesn't it feel like Darnold's going to start and McCarthy will take over about week 4 or 5?
Yeah, I think more people are drafting McCarthy late and just hoping he comes in by like week 4 or something like that.
Oh my gosh, my team is terrible.
I hope you can pull together.
Is this like Andrew who said he hated his team that made the finals?
Yeah.
I got to channel some of that energy right now because.
Well, you're coming up again soon, Fred.
What are you doing? I planned.
What are you doing? What are you doing? You're up in 3.
I was in traffic. I was listening to Andrew and Jetson. I was absorbing all the knowledge. I was visualizing the perfect draft, letting the energy come to me. Oh, pick 69. Nice. All right.
I was gonna say, what's your plan here, Spread? You can still pull it together. You still got what? 14 rounds to pull it together or something here?
Do I want Jordan Addison to match with my Jefferson, or do I want to go Ladd McConkey?
I like both, honestly. I mean,
just because I need some correlation. I mean, this is just.
I like that.
Now, like I said, I've kind of dug myself in that hole.
I mean, I would take a shot on JJ late then, but
yeah, I'll probably have him as my third
especially
QB
since
now.
you're doing 33 QBs. I would take a shot with JJ and just hope.
Right. I guess I could still maybe get McConkey. I need another run.
Yeah, he might come. I was gonna say you're coming around the corner. You're back up in like 3 picks.
What do you think of Stevenson this year?
You still have 12 rounds. You're gonna pull this together. I've got faith. What'd you say?
What do you think of Ramondre Stevenson this year?
I think for the value, he's going so much later this year than he was last year. Like last year, he's a 3rd rounder.
Yeah, I hated him at 30 last year.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, he just went. Gone. He's still actually, in some of my anchor builds, even being out for part of the year, he was still fine. I mean, he has a pass catching role. He's one of the talk about touchdown, odds. Like he and Hunter Henry are like the 2 guys that are going to have some of the better touchdown odds. So his anytime touchdown is probably going to be like plus 130 or something like that, plus 150. So I don't mind him. So what are you looking here?
Where I'm drafting. Look at that pay dirt here, down here, and I got to overdraft. All right, whatever.
So
I overdrafted Najee.
I like Najee. How many picks ahead did you grab him?
I grabbed him at 76, and his ADP is 87.
I mean, it's all what your rankings are, and like if you're higher on him, I like Najee this year.
The reason I just grabbed him right now is there's so many wide receivers I still want to take flyers on. And
what do you got?
So
you got a 2-4-1 build going? Yeah, no, I like that. I think that's fine.
I'm gonna be right back, Meg.
Yep. I was going to say, make sure you come back before your pick. Okay, so I'm up at pick 82 and 87, trying to multitask this phone thing. I promise I'll get my computer worked out before the next show. So I'm gonna pick 82 and 87, and I've got a 1-1-3-1 going. So yeah, I got my 3 by talking about the pacing, how I talked about the pace of the receivers. I did get 3 by 6. So now I definitely want to get 4 receivers, definitely receiver in these next 2 picks to have 4 by 8. Again, it's all about pacing, even though I started with like a hero build. I do like Zamir White coming up though. May grab a second running back there in White and then grab another receiver. So that's what I think I'm going to do, because I have not gotten any Zamir White shares. So that's what I did. Just liked where he fell to me there. And then I'm queuing up a couple receivers to grab in 4 picks.
All right, Meg, as Tyler will attest though, I always hate my drafts. So
do you really?
Yeah, I was thinking about that when I read about the rule. I said, "But if I had a best ball tombstone, the quote would be, I hate my draft."
I hate
You'll probably be hearing that from me all year. So you're right. We'll continue to turn it around.
I was going to say, you still have like
we're gonna look
11 or 12 rounds to turn it around.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on the clock.
I got a nice start with Minnesota.
I'm trying to decide here. Oh, I don't love Deontay Johnson, but
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I think he's getting a ton of targets. And I think that offense is going to look better.
I really wanted to take a 4th receiver there before it started to thin out too much. So I did take Deontay Johnson. I got your Zamir White. I got Zamir White though when you ran to so I got Zamir White. I like
him. What? Zamir White.
You don't like Zamir White this year?
Where for his ADP?
Oh, for his ADP.
I think there's a good chance. Like I'm looking at these guys.
He fell just a couple picks.
Connor. I'm not high on Pollard either. I think that's Spears' job. But I think Connor and Moss have a good chance of outscoring him.
Okay.
Oh man, you could set up. Are you going to get some Brock Bowers action?
I mean, I could, but I don't think I'm going to do the whole. I'm up in 17 picks. I already got one really high tight end in Kincaid. I don't know that that's a lot. Okay. That's a lot of tight end capital for me.
I'm a Raiders fan, Andrew. So take this with a grain of salt. But that was another thing that I wish I wasn't driving. I could have written down everything that I disagreed with. So their idea on the Vegas tight end room was, so first of all, we'll start with what we agree with. I mean, they're absolutely right. It'll probably be top 5 of 2 tight end sets, which I absolutely love. And I'm gonna make my pick, and then I'm gonna go off on why.
Okay.
Oh my gosh! Do I want James Conner? Do I want Brock Bowers?
He's been like people poo-poo Connor too, and I know they drafted Trey Benson.
His highlights suck.
He doesn't suck.
The only reason he's good is usage.
Well,
I'm just saying, as a player, he sucks.
He gets it done. Spread. Who'd you
literally
pick?
Usage. You're drafting usage. There's no highlight.
Oh, you're up now.
James Conner, where I'm like, wow, what a great athlete.
He's like a best ball. He's like a best ball hero every year, and people complain about him. He's he's underappreciated. He's like a best ball hero every year. People complain about him.
I think we complain about him because I've never had a player score me so points where I've never seen one impressive highlight ever.
What?
I mean,
literally, not impressive highlights.
Hit the hole and get tackled when you're supposed to and pick up 4 yards. I mean,
oh my! You underappreciate so many players that I liked. Spread. James
I know.
Conner
I think that's going to be good though, Meg. Can you imagine if we just came on here and agreed the whole time?
That would be boring.
People would be throwing up. They'd be like, "Get a room." Instead, Okay. So I got to figure out what I'm taking here, though. Boy, the Trey Benson handcuff, that would be wonderful. So we don't handcuff.
I miss Keon Coleman. I have not been able to double stack Allen, though. I think with Allen rushing so much, I don't think he's one that you have to like overkill on like double stacking or anything like that. But I have not been able to get him with Keon Coleman, and Keon Coleman, I just love him, his personality. So I really think he's going to be a big red zone threat for them. So I missed my Keon Coleman.
I mean, when you hear that the quarterback specifically asked for him.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
I mean, I'd like to think that he used Fanspeak on the clock. Apparently he was running mock draft sims. I'm guessing it was PFF not on the clock, but you never know. He could have Googled it and tested out Fanspeak. Apparently he was like running sims and trying to tell the GM, I think we could get this guy here and this guy here and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, when he's asking for him, he asked for Kincaid last year too. So I'm trying to see where he went. Can you put the board? Do you have a break? Or you're coming up, right?
No, I grabbed Chubb.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chubb is a good pick where he's going.
And I know that you're thinking that I put too much capital on a running back, but I just don't trust any of these guys on the board after that. And I'd rather take shots on these wide receivers from here on out.
Yeah, well, how many receivers do you have right now? 3. You still have 4.
Yeah,
so
I
would grab one more next before
it's too thin.
I'm trying to look at the board. Where did Keon Coleman go? Why can I not find him? Ladd McConkey went 75.
Here, if I make this bigger, can you see it? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I can see it fine. I just cannot find Keon Coleman for some reason. Okay, if you find
68 to WD Simp 12.
Oh, okay.
That's a weird name.
That's why I couldn't find him, because he went even earlier than I thought.
If I lose to a guy named Simp, oh my God.
Well, since Andrew didn't make this one, hopefully we're the top 2 in this pod,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to leave anybody out.
Against Andrew. I just talked about how I'm trying to find the weaker rooms, and then you're trying to get me in a draft with Andrew? What's up with that? All right, Meg, I'm going to double back
I'm on the clock, so I'm grabbing. Okay. I love my Jameson Williams.
All right.
Got him yesterday too. I was going to double stack to set up a double stack for Rodgers with Mike Williams, but this gives me optionality if I wanted to grab Goff coming around. TBD. We'll see. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to talk about the Vegas tight end situation and why I'm so high on Brock Bowers.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so this is my first idea, right? So indulge me for a second, Meg. We're jumping into this alternate universe, right?
Okay.
Pretty close to this one, but some things are a little different. And the main difference in this alternate universe, Meg, is that Aaron Hernandez is a nice family man. He gets up.
I was going to say, this is quite an alternate universe.
He listens to Bill Belichick, and he goes home and plays with his wife and kids. Or husband and kids. I mean, who knows? But the point is, he doesn't get in trouble. He doesn't get arrested. We know that the NFL is a copycat league, and I firmly believe that Tom Brady and those 2 tight ends would have blueprint for what NFL offenses are doing. Now, the reality is Aaron Hernandez was not a family man. He's not a good person. And, we were kind of robbed of this 2 tight end dream. Now, I feel that that's what the Raiders are doing. And I understand their point that, hey, they're probably both going to be on the field in these 2 tight end sets. So I'm getting a guy. And it's almost like we did with the running back from the Lions, Montgomery, last year, right?
Yeah.
It's like the idea that one was in the 3rd round, one was in the 8th round, but he might get similar carries, right? So I understand that's his argument for mayor. But my counter and why I like Bowers so much is I think that he's the best tight end prospect we've seen since Kellen Winslow Jr. Hopefully he turns out to be better than Kellen Winslow Jr. Right. But I think he's a better prospect than Kyle Pitts. And I'm trying to think of other ones. I can't think of anyone in the last 20 years that is this good a prospect. So when you have the ability to get open that much, and the other thing is, I think the mayor will stay inside on the line a lot. Okay. Whereas in a lot of these sets, Bowers will essentially be the slot receiver, where they're going to start him on the line, and then Minshew can motion him, or Connell, whoever it ends up being, can motion him out. I think that Bowers has a great opportunity to really be a great impact player here in year 1. So I'm not against.
So you think his ADP is fair?
I think, and I think it should be up. I think he's going to outperform the current ADP, and I almost took him there. I just went with Nick Chubb instead, only because I don't like this, but I did spend too much on freaking Mark Andrews.
Well, that's why
I got to figure this out here.
Okay, so you are up in 1. So what are you thinking? Yeah, I would grab another receiver before it thins too fast. What about? Oh wait, I thought that was. Oh yeah, Shaheed. I love Shaheed and Palmer, Doves.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna grab.
Those are 3 that I would target before things. That's the kind of.
I'm gonna grab a little quick Herbert Palmer deal. So I'll just take Herbert now. I don't want to get sniped on that.
Because you're coming back around, right?
Yeah, and then I have 4 picks, but I don't think Palmer will get taken here. Let's go back to here. So the guy's drafted around. You gotta be kidding me.
Did he go next? Oh, he was probably pissed because he had Ladd McConkey, and so he was just like, "Screw it."
Yeah, whatever. I should have taken Ladd McConkey instead of Najee. Yeah, whatever. This is not the best draft for me. So for all the people introduced, they're going to be clicking this YouTube show going, "Who's this guy that Meg brought on?"
He's a very sharp dude. Trust me.
He's just getting sniped left and right.
Hey, but that's when you get sniped. You just pick up the pieces and you put something else together. You know, I got sniped multiple times last night.
Like, we love correlation, but and this is going into last year, so I'm using these data from last year, so I don't think it has last year's finalists in there. But correlating only gave you like a 3% extra advance rate. As much as we love it, right? It's not.
I mean, I love any team correlation possible. Like, I mean, I think you can get. I'll let you focus, but while you're talking, I talked about that, like whether you get sniped on, like that guy got sniped on Herbert, he still took another Chargers. I think it's fine to just grab correlating teams that you like, whether you get the quarterback or not. And then then say you're queuing up a stack and you get sniped, who cares? I think the guy that won was queued up multiple stacks that got sniped, and then he ended up grabbing a Jordan Love stack, which ended up bringing it home for him, $3 million. So it's like, you can get mad about snipes and that kind of stuff, but it's just like, just be fine that you are correlating, and then then find another,
I'm about to grab the Houston. I just grabbed Dalton Schultz. Who's Houston's backup quarterback? I should draft him.
Houston's back. No, this is what you don't do, Fred. That's what you don't do.
I can't grab him at pick 20.
No,
I mean, the only one who has him.
The only 2 quarterbacks that I see going is the Steelers quarterbacks, which I am confidently in the Russ Wilson camp. I know some people are more in the.
That's a crazy situation how they went to the same team, huh?
Yeah,
especially with so many teams needing quarterbacks.
Right. Oh, it is wild. Yeah, for sure.
All right, you're up in 2, Meg.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide. I'm trying to decide what I want to do here. I cannot believe the Ben Sinnott, like, speaking of tight ends, how he has gotten steamed all the way up to ADP 152. I was having a debate with somebody on Twitter. I'll talk about it after my pick. I just don't get it.
Who are you talking about?
Ben Sinnott, the guy that got drafted 2nd round, Washington.
I think everyone's just searching that Laporta buzz. Meg, you got 20 seconds.
I know. I think I'm going to go. I haven't had any Blake Corum shares. I know I talk about my Kyron Love, and I do love Kyron, but I think he's going to have some value. So
that was the first one that I know we're not supposed to handcuff in best ball, but I wanted to handcuff Kyron and Corum.
Yeah, no, there's some teams I like it more than others, but I think handcuffing works better if you're building for sure like 6 running backs or something. Though I've done it with like the Ravens in a 5 build and just been like, okay, I'm just getting Henry and Keaton Mitchell, or however you pronounce his first name, and I'm just getting that Thunder and Lightning and all of the Baltimore, which is obviously a very good rushing offense. And I don't think there's anything wrong with certain handcuffs. I'm going to complete my Jet stack coming up here and just get Rodgers now, because then
I hate that I have no correlation at all. Oh my gosh.
You're going to read after I make this pick. You're going to read me your team. We're going to pull this thing together, Spread.
It looks like a managed league team. People are probably watching like, does he think he has waiver wires? How much is he use this?
I definitely think you're going to have to draft more receivers, because you didn't quite get the receivers before the cliff got a little sketchy.
You think so?
Yeah.
I was looking at another quarterback.
Because you only have 4 receivers, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I like to have 5 by like pick.
Well, I did pretty good with my tight end, so I expect
you're done there. Yeah, I would not draft any more tight ends.
I get one more.
What?
I'm gonna take one more.
Why would you take one more tight end when you have those 2?
Because there's one tight end that I love.
Wait, what late round tight end? And then we got to talk about.
It's the same person. We completely agree on this one.
Jatavion Sanders.
Jatavion Sanders. Carolina.
Yeah, that's what I am going to do a thing where this whole Ben Sinnott to Washington, like I made a joke on Twitter, like this ADP is too high for Kyle Juszczyk, and like people were going nuts at me, like, just outraged that I said that. And, they wouldn't have spent second round draft capital on Kyle Juszczyk. I'm like, okay, I wasn't being literal, but like people forget that Ertz is there, and Kingsbury loved Ertz, and people always like want to put the olds out to pasture and like he's gonna have no role. Ertz is probably gonna have a role to start the season as the pass catching. This guy is known to be he's very versatile. Sinnott.
Isn't he like older than me, Meg?
Who? Ertz? No, he's like in his mid to late 30s. I don't know. He's probably like 37.
Old for me.
Point is, I'm saying that he is ahead of Sinnott as far as a pass catching tight end. Number one. Number two, it's not like it's just that and like one receiver. You've got Terry McLaurin, you've got Jahan Dotson, Eckler will catch passes, Brian Robinson can catch passes out of the backfield. Now you draft a Luke McCaffrey too. Like and then the problem is, and we can debate about the whole quarterback pick that Washington made. When you have a rookie rushing quarterback, the volume of passing is going to be low, period. They're going to rush a lot, run up the ball a lot. And then when they're not, even when he drops, say they drop back to pass 30 times, 6 to 8 of those are going to end up being scrambles. Because guess what? We didn't address the offensive line well enough. We did decent in free agency, not really in the draft. So he's going to be running 6 to 8 times a game, and he's probably only going to have 20 some attempts. Literally the exact opposite of what Sam Howell had last year. So you're asking for a lot. Whereas Sanders, I'm not saying that the Carolina pass attempts are going to be super high. And yes, they did improve their weapons, thank God. But who's ahead of Sanders in the tight end room? And this is why you and I both like it. Nobody. Losers. And that was Laporta had nobody to beat out last year. I think he was a more talented product, but Jatavion Sanders was a second tight end on a lot of boards. You just happen to fall in the NFL boards. And so I love Sanders. And I think he is, you can no longer say that Sinnott is this year's Laporta, because Laporta wasn't going in the 150s until midsummer, until like training camp. I mean, we're in mid-May and he's already going. This is just wild. So crazy stuff. Okay, I'm up in 8 picks, but read me your team that we're working with.
I got 1 pick. I'm trying to figure out here. Oh my gosh, I screwed this up. Everyone I want on the board right now is a running back.
Oh boy. What about Jatavion or Dontavian Wicks, Green Bay?
You like him a lot?
I mean, that or Roman Polk, Roman Wilson. I like those rookies.
More.
I would draft one. You need receivers.
I can't pass them up.
Who did you get?
Right?
Oh my God. Okay, you're done at running back. How many running backs do you have?
5. All right, okay. So I'll read my team off. I got Herbert and Stafford, and we talked about this before. So I have 2 high floor, low ceiling guys.
Well, I think I don't put Herbert in the low ceiling, because I think Herbert, though this year, depending on the running, Herbert can pass for 4 touchdowns and you could be fine there. So go ahead. Okay, but
I have the best running back room in the world.
Yeah, your running back is definitely going to be your
Tyron, Najee, James Conner, Nick Chubb, and Jalen Wright.
Okay.
Need some help here. I got Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Jordan Addison. Boy, what if they're on the same bye week?
Who? Oh, Vikings?
Minnesota and Houston. And then strong at tight end. I'll do a throwaway pick there at the end.
No, do not do another. You are done at tight end. This is how I can. This is Bill. You put too much capital in tight end. You're done. You just
okay.
This is how you fix it. You just then get
just have this be my draft board from here on out. I just click
basically. Yes, basically yes. You just need like 8 receivers. You need to get 8 receivers total. I'm up next.
I never do. I always go 7.
I usually have 3, 5, 7, 3, but again, it depends on your build. And let me make my pick.
I think you're right. I think you're right, though. For this particular build, I think I do need to go 8.
Yes, you have to go 8 because it's quality over quality or quantity. It can't be both. And
you're up.
Okay, I'm going to be done at running back after this, and then I'm going to have to hammer some more receivers. But I'm obsessed with Ty Chandler. I think Aaron Jones is injury prone. They talked about on the show last night. I think he showed, Kevin O'Connell, what he can do in that offense. I love Ty Chandler this year and being able to get him in the 150s.
There.
What's that?
I can't disagree there. I hate to say it, in the same range, though. I like Marshawn Lloyd just a little more.
Yeah, I just think we'll see. I mean, I just think. Oh wait, I'm up in 2, and then we got to queue some receivers up for you. I'm trying to decide who. Okay. Ooh.
Geno Smith off the board. Adam Thielen, you're up, Meg.
You know what? I might reach for this a little bit, but I'm going to get my 6th receiver. I'm going to get Aaron Rodgers' roommate. I like Malachi Corley to be like his Randall Cobb. And I was going to take Polk or Wilson. I was like, if I'm going to do a rookie receiver, I'm going to go ahead and draft the one that correlates with my stack and Aaron Rodgers' roomie. So, all right. So
I think you made the right pick. I personally like Polk more. But
I like Polk and
when you already have the correlation.
Yeah, I had the correlation built. Yeah. So, okay. So let me see. With Herbert, well, you're done at running back.
Done. I mean, I'll pick another quarterback.
Did you correlate with Stafford?
I only have Kyron.
Oh, okay. You got Kyron. That's still a correlate. I think quarterback, running back, quarterback, tight end, whatever. I think that's fine. Okay. Oh, here's a late one you could queue up that correlates with Stafford. Demarcus Robinson. That's a good one. Yeah. So how many picks do you have left spread?
You have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5.
You have 5. Okay, so right now you have a 2, 5, 4, 2.
I actually don't mind where I'm at. Okay, so I just told you I like Polk, so I'm happy with there.
And he fell back to you too because you're considering.
Yeah, and I don't mind Roman Wilson here. I like Marvin Mims a lot.
Yeah,
what were they talking about on the other show? Getting paid $5,000 to draft Marvin Mims? Yeah, if you want to give me $5,000, I'll draft anybody in the first round. What the heck? Who was? I didn't even understand that.
What do you mean?
Andrew and them were talking about someone getting paid $5,000 to draft Marvin Mims in the first round.
Was it like another?
Maybe it's a joke. Person? I missed it. I didn't understand it. Okay.
I'm not sure on that one, but I like Marvin Mims.
McCaffrey.
Again, same thing with Sinnott. I took him yesterday, but I took him as my 7th receiver. I think in your situation, you need a little more certainty. I'm just really worried about the pass volume for Washington. There's 5 or 6 mouths to feed, and just like in a Justin Fields offense or Lamar offense, you're not feeding that many mouths. You're just not. So I just think drafting a 3rd receiver, 2nd tight end, I think that's risky. I think if it's, again, your 3rd tight end, 7th receiver, 7th or 8th receiver, that's fine, but not in your situation. So I would draft, if I were you, I would.
You know who I overdrafted so bad last year, Meg? So, it's so funny. You asked me who my best picks were. I'm like blanking. But if you asked me who my worst picks were, I got it right on the top of my head. And one of them was in Washington. So obviously Dameon Pierce was my worst.
Yeah, which I like him at the end of drafts this year. But yeah, okay, you're
taking Mims here over Wilson. What do you think of that?
I'm fine with both. I like both, so I don't think you can go. I like both.
Mims more.
If you, I was gonna say go with who you like more.
Jahan Dotson killed me last year, Meg.
Oh yeah,
I kept chasing him up the board too all year.
I did
like his
too.
ADP kept rising, and I still kept taking him.
I chased him up the board as well.
Man.
I did the exact same thing. Okay, so I have a 2, 5, 6, 1, and I have, let's see.
See, I'm at 2, 5, 6, 2 now, Meg, so I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's just you didn't get your 5th. Wait, how many receivers do you have?
I have 6 now.
Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. See, we're fixing it. It's all good.
Honestly, I'd like this draft for my players. I'm just disappointed. I just don't feel like I correlated well enough.
Well, you could is JJ.
And this is such a JJ's gone. the margins between advancing and not advancing are so low, right?
Oh yeah.
It could be like 5 points.
Oh no, I talked about that in my article. That's why I do certain things the way I do, or believe in certain things the way I believe, because the margins of second and third can be very thin sometimes. So you just want to optimize everything. I can't believe if Roman Wilson's here coming back to me at 178. My God, he is.
Guy Sanders went. He's going to be so high on those. If you want the ADP/CLV, Sanders is going to fly up the board.
I know, but he hasn't yet. This is the earliest I've ever seen him taken. I got him in the last round last night.
Yeah, but we're dealing with all these super badges. These guys know what they're doing, man.
I was in an Underdog super badge draft last night,
but it was late at night, right? I mean, people were probably.
You think they're hitting the sauce on the Thursday night?
Mark, right? A little Grey Goose. Pissed off, probably drafted with a bunch of Celtics fans that were like mad, and so they're stacking up the Patriots.
Angry Celtics fans.
Trying to get back at the life.
All right, I'm trying to decide what I want to do here.
2571 Meg.
Ooh, who'd you get as your 7th receiver?
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh, yes.
You're at 2571. I would look at tight end. All right. Anything special I missed? If getting sniped is special, Andrew, then you missed that. But other than that,
no. You also had like 3 panic attacks that you hated your draft.
Yeah, that's so normal, though. I mean, you guys will be so used to that. Like Tyler rolls his eyes when I say that. All right, who'd you go with?
Hunter Henry. He's a steady Eddie at tight end. I like him.
So now I really got to figure out. One good thing though is I've addressed wide receiver. I can go back to hitting best player available. I do like Isaiah Likely a lot, but that would be handcuff. I'm not a Ty Jonnu Smith.
You thinking for your third?
Gosh, you know that I want to just keep drafting running backs.
You can't draft any more running backs spread. That's what we said, quality over quantity. You hammered running backs, and they are awesome.
So bad.
They are so good, and you're gonna have a running back in your flex almost every week. I could almost guarantee it. And you made up for the not getting. I could
have a tight end in there too.
You made up for not getting 5 receivers by round 10 by hammering them recently. I still might go 3, 5, 8, 2, because again, you have you put a lot of capital into tight end, but it's up to you.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm gonna go to Demarcus Robinson here.
That correlates. I love that pick. No, love that pick.
All right. And then I can start planning for the next one. Okay, so I got a little bit of Stafford correlation there.
So you got your Stafford correlation, exactly.
Can I get any little mini correlation here?
So who are you thinking for your third quarterback? You could just look to stack with one of the receivers
around at the end.
Like you could stack Knicks with Mims. You could stack. I'm trying to think. Who else did you get later? With Demarcus Robinson. I mean, you could stack JJ. Obviously,
JJ's gone.
Oh, JJ's gone. Okay, you could stack. Let's see. I mean,
I don't have any options.
You could take Drake May. I don't know. I don't feel confident. Brissett's such a good stopgap quarterback. They really would not surprise me if they gave him more time, which I think would be a good thing. Okay, so how soon to you're up again? You're up in
4 picks, and this is why I'm really not liking the board. I need to consume more content because I'll hear you, Andrew, Justin, your brother fall in love with these guys, and it'll make me fall in love with them too.
Yeah, well,
I don't think I've consumed enough content, or maybe I just don't remember it all. You know, it's funny. You sent me a message. Hey, you should know more of the rookies. And I went, I watched every single one of your rookie shows but one. I go, boy, my recall is absolutely terrible. I got to rewatch them with a pen and paper because obviously I'm not what's the word? The amount that I'm actually keeping in my head is not high enough.
Retaining, recalling.
It's probably because I'm doing a lot of work. So sometimes I'll be chatting with the guy next to me.
Oh, yeah.
You say something, and I'll be like, oh, what do you think about this guy?
Multitasking. I'm trying to decide who I'm
All right,
doing.
Meg, you ready to hate me?
What? Who are you taking?
I'm about to draft Daniel Jones.
I mean, do you have any Giants?
No.
I mean, he's a rushing quarterback. I mean,
and I have no rushing quarterback so far.
So, I mean, I think that's fine.
I think I did good in this draft, except for correlation. Actually, like when I'm looking at the individual picks, the only reach I really made was Najee.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and then you made up for like I said, you got volume at receiver for kind of not getting them earlier and stuff. And so no, I think and then you were tempted by still getting running backs, but again, you can't do it's quality or quantity, and you backed off. I like it.
It's so funny how I hated running backs last year. That's all I want to draft.
Okay, here's a fun question for you. Last night I took Russ Wilson. I'm on team Russ Wilson. I think he's going to be the Steelers quarterback, and I think he ultimately will make it all year as long as he stays healthy. Or do I go Bryce Young? Andrew just texted me and said the stream's frozen, but it's working here.
I see it fine. Oh crap! Andrew just said the same thing.
This has been, well, we got to get through. I don't know what to do. Well, are you up or am I up?
I'm not up for a while. You're up right now.
Oh, I'm up. I'm just going to take Bryce Young.
Yeah, I like that a lot better, Meg. I don't like playing around with that Pittsburgh quarterback situation.
I mean, I have. I'm team Russ Wilson on this. Let me see.
Okay. Well, the good thing there is if you take a stand. Okay, it's back. Good to hear.
Okay, it's back.
If you take a stand on that Russ, I think there's going to be a lot of people like me who are scared off.
Yeah, I've kind of made the stand on Russ and just hoping I'm right, because there's people still drafting obviously Fields, and
Fields has such a higher fantasy upside, right?
Sure, but okay, 3, 5, 7.
Like if you knew that Fields was a starter or Russ is a starter, right? I mean, I think Fields would put up more numbers in the same system from a fantasy perspective. That's just because running's so overpowered. You got 19 seconds.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now. Hold on. Who do you like better, Tyler Boyd for Tennessee or Elijah Moore, Cleveland?
Elijah Moore.
That's where I'm going to go. Okay, so since I did a hero tight end build to the point that I was trying to talk you into, I did Kincaid so early, and then I did Henry late, but I still think he's like a really solid tight end pick. I built out a 3-5-8 too, because there were some of those middle receivers I was like meh about. So yeah, I ended up pulling it together and happy with it, considering all the tech difficulties we've had in this stream. So what are you doing with your
or did you already got Robinson if he's still there? If not, Jalen Hyatt.
Wait, Robinson who? You already grabbed Robinson.
Wan'Dale Robinson?
Oh, Wando. Oh, to stack with Daniel. Daniel Jones. Yeah, love it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I might as well get a Giants guy. I like I mean, I don't draft many Giants. I drafted Singletary in this draft though. Steve has talked me into, well, it's not.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about
that. He's just going to be the volume guy, and for where he's going, it's fine. Doesn't excite me, but so who are you thinking, Hyatt or Wando?
I'm going to take Wan'Dale Robinson.
I like that.
And then what? I have one more pick after this.
Oh, I'm done. You're done.
I'm done. Okay.
Spread. We both.
Maybe I should take a Jalen Hyatt. Oh well, whatever.
No, I like Wan'Dale there actually.
You do? You like him better?
Okay. Yeah, I like Wan'Dale better, but okay. Do you want to go over our picks to round out the show? You can either do it on this. Thank you, Andrew. We tried to pull it together. We had some tech difficulties, but thank you for talking us through. Thank you guys for your patience. Again, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll get these tech difficulties worked out, because we are doing live drafts Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every single week. And we will have plenty of more great content here on Fanspeak Network. All sorts of best ball strategy shows. Be sure to check out the rookie series episodes, I believe 43, 48, and 49, and check out all our content on Fanspeak. So Spread, do you want to go through your team first?
Yeah. I'm very comfortable with all the players I drafted, except for my major mistake. If I were to just do a quick overview here, probably Najee wasn't the best idea here with the players that were still available at that point. Boy, that would have been nice. I should have grabbed McConkey there. I wasn't thinking ahead. However, I took Jefferson over Chase. which a little bit of controversy there, but not that big a deal.
Yeah, no.
Kyron Williams at 21. I love that. I think that's a great value there.
Yeah.
Nico and Tank, and then of course
the first snipe happened.
Yeah, and then he grabbed CJ, but he had Diggs, so I mean I probably should have prepared for that a little more. Mark Andrews is another pick that I don't know if I love it that much. In hindsight, if I can have that one back, I might redo it. But I'm kind of looking at who went behind him. Boy, I think the only good argument that are the guys that I'd rather have. I mean, yeah, McLaurin's got options and Pickett's could be good, but boy, I like your Kincaid there. Maybe I should have considered that a little more.
Well, I'm glad you didn't snipe me.
Yeah, I'm glad you have Josh Allen though, so it makes a lot more sense for you.
I was going to say I like Mark Andrews, but I'll probably do him more in Lamar builds. Is probably where I'm going to land on these higher, like really high tight ends. I'm probably going to do them more in the builds.
And with Lamar off the board, I shouldn't have considered him there. So that was another mistake, but we're still learning. And like we've talked about before, just because you hate your draft at the time doesn't mean it won't be good.
Exactly. Right? Andrew can speak to that with his BBM4 finals appearance.
So then I grabbed Jordan Addison. So I have some nice Minnesota receivers there. Unfortunately, I didn't correlate with the quarterback because JJ went higher than I expected.
Yeah, he went high, didn't he? Where did what pick number did he go?
174.
It's just good to know for future reference if you are trying to stack a certain team, just to kind of know where these guys go. Again, it's different in every
he
one.
Went at 174. I'm really surprised, just because we don't know if he's even going to start. But okay, let's see who else did we grab. Then I have I love these running backs here though: Najee, Connor, and Nick Chubb. I mean, I just think the running back is a good spot for me. I think Herbert's going to be the biggest value here. I got him at 117.
Yeah,
it's way too low.
You wanted to stack him with Palmer, and then the guy who got McConkey just stacked up the team. Yeah, this is what you're talking about. Sharp rooms, they're just stacking up good teams. So I don't blame them.
Dalton Schultz is my second tight end, and you said to only stick with those two, so we'll see how that works out for me. Then I grabbed some Stafford, and I added some Marcus Robinson here. Just some young players with some upside here: Jalen Polk and Marvin Mims, and of course Jalen Wright. Probably overdrafting my running backs. We'll see how that turns out, though. We are touchdown hunting here on Underdog, so maybe it'll work out for me.
I mean, you're definitely running back in the flex. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you hammered receiver late, and I think you got some upside guys. So
yeah, and I got the little mini stack of Daniel Jones and Wan'Dale Robinson, and we'll see if I end up regretting not taking Jalen Hyatt there. I had so much Jalen Hyatt last year, though, and he didn't work out for me. Talk to me about your team, Meg, starting with Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I got my Garrett Wilson shares. So Garrett Wilson shares, very excited about that because I have not been able, I think I've only got him one other time. So super pumped about that. And then I came back and got Jonathan Taylor because we talked at the top of the show how we like, especially right now, hero builds. And I haven't gotten any Taylor shares. I've been hitting more Saquon Barkley in that range, Kyron Williams, some Devon A. Chain. So like that, I got a Jonathan Taylor share. So I'll just read in order of the just position by position. My favorites, these are 3, 5, 7, 3, but I got Kincaid early and then I got Henry late. And I just feel like that's a solid tight end room. And so while it wasn't like too super high capital, it was enough that I felt comfortable to do a 3, 5, 8, 2. So my team ended up being Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Bryce Young, Jonathan Taylor, Zamir White, Devin Singletary, Blake Corum, Ty Chandler. So really love the first 3 as like volume guys. And then the other 2, I think, have some contingent value. I think Chandler has some upside value like that. So then 8 receivers because started strong, but then the receivers in the middle are kind of, very spike weeky, which is fine for best ball, but I wanted an 8th receiver. So I did Garrett Wilson, Devonta Smith, Xavier Worthy, Deontay Johnson, Jameson Williams, Malachi Corley, Roman Wilson, Elijah Moore. Then I did the 2 tight ends, Kincaid and Henry. So I was able to stack, let's see, Allen and Kincaid. Keon Coleman went way earlier than I thought. I was able to stack Aaron Rodgers, obviously, with Garrett Wilson and the new roomie, Malachi Corley, and then Bryce Young with Deontay Johnson. So we talked about how much we both love Jatavion Sanders. And again, I got him. I was going to do a stack and make it Bryce Young and him. And he went way earlier in this draft. He went last round.
He's going to be like 140 by July.
I think people will catch on to it too, but nobody has yet. This is the earliest. I think he went in the 170s. This is the earliest I've ever seen him go. But look for a short or some kind of strategy video soon about me talking about he is actually the Sam Laporta this year. Because again, people keep talking about this Ben Sinnott stuff, and it's like he's already in the 150s. We weren't getting Laporta 150s until August last year, and it's already happening in May. That is not a Sam Laporta value. The value is Jatavion Sanders getting him with nobody ahead of him in that Carolina tight end room. Who is it? It's like Tommy Tremble or something like that. It's like there's nobody to be scared of. And this guy is like he's not known for his blocking. They're going to be putting him out there to catch passes. So, and hopefully be a good red zone threat. So yeah. So I don't know. What do you think of my team spread?
I think you did a great job. Just to be another thing, I like your team. I always like people I'm drafting with teams better than mine.
Oh my gosh!
I think you did a good job here. Let me see. I'm trying to think. If there's anything that I would.
Yeah, tell me if there's anything you would have changed in mine.
Critique? No, I mean you did so well here. I mean I don't love Garrett Wilson, but since you take the stand, right?
I'm taking a stand. I love it.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I could be wrong. I mean, the guy's obviously got.
I think he's going to be this year. I think he could be like the Amon-Ra the back half of the first round.
We should make a side bet, Meg. I'll bet you Jaden Daniels makes it longer than Rodgers does.
That's a quite side, but I was thinking about that. I'm like, I know spread's going to want to like bet me something about Jaden Daniels, and it's going to come down for me like the durability. And it's like I can't bet on a man's health. That feels so wrong.
Oh well, okay.
I can't victory lap like, oh well, I was right. He's hurt. Like that feels awful.
Yeah,
so
okay, that's fair.
It's so that's why I can't. But yeah, I was overall happy with it. Because on the phone, one-handed, the tech difficulties, I felt like I wasn't as locked in as I normally was, but I think it came together. And I know you were like, you got sniped.
I love that you have so many high upside receivers. I mean, this draft just screams best ball to me, right? Roman Wilson, Malachi Corley, Jameson Williams, Deontay Johnson. I mean, these are all guys that could be in the top 10 or in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I mean, you're really rolling the dice here, but I think that's what you have to do.
Yeah. No, I like that. We
talked about this before. We're drafting with some sharp people, right?
Yeah.
There's no, I don't know, maybe we could go through each one, but it felt like there's no dead money in this contest.
No,
right?
No,
you know how you see some drafts, you're like,
oh,
well, he's dead. Now we're competing with 11 people. I think you did a fantastic job. You're going to have to take some risks. And you talked about it earlier. Just one of these teams has to make the finals for you to pay out.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if this team completely does. Let's just say Roman Wilson sucks. No, that's fine. Right? What matters is that you're taking chances and you're identifying players who could potentially way outperform their ADP.
Right.
Because I think the potential of, Roman Wilson outperforming his ADP is so much higher than my Demarcus Robinson, my Marvin Mims, Demario Douglas, Rashad Bateman, Odell, right? All these players, I think you're grabbing great upside guys. So, I think you did a great job.
Well, thank you. Well, I think you got sniped multiple times and you were nervous about that. You hated it, which again, Andrew hated his draft that made the finals. So you never know.
Well, number one, that happens, Andrew.
Number two, I think you pulled it together well with things that you were nervous about in correlation or enough receivers or, stuff like that. I mean, I think, you're running back in tight end rooms. Awesome. I think, like the value you got for your quarterbacks is awesome because you're starting two quarterbacks are Herbert and who was the first one?
I got Herbert and Stafford.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I think Herbert's like definitely still has a ceiling in him. So, no, I really loved how you pulled it together.
To me, Herbert is like one of the most undervalued people on this whole board. I don't understand how the top 5 QBs, QB 17 in this, and I understand it's fantasy football, but still. I love Jim Harbaugh's quote where he said, well, you're going to say Herbert doesn't have any weapons. I think an offensive tackle is a weapon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think he's absolutely right. You get to 2nd and 5, you get plenty of time. Most of these quarterbacks, that's really what separates the great quarterbacks from the good quarterbacks. All these quarterbacks can perform in a clean pocket.
Mm-hmm.
It's the ones we consider great, the ones that are making things happen when things break down, right? And that's one of the things that Jordan Love did to really beginning of the year was terrible. I remember week 4, week 5, Meg, I came
we were already throwing in the towel on him.
He was the worst quarterback in the whole NFL. I said he was worse than Zach Wilson. I said he was worse than Mac Jones. And At that point, he was. I'll still go through it. I'll still go stand by that. Go through the first 4 weeks of game film. He's the worst quarterback in the NFL, and he improved.
That Thanksgiving game was just like, it was like he just like downshifted, and it was just like from there, it was just like absolute ceiling. It was impressive, and I think Packers fans have a lot to be excited about now. But yeah, no, I think it was fun to watch this draft played out, because we definitely both had to make some pivots on the fly, as you always do in best ball. And no, I like the, how we both pulled it together. So I'm happy with mine, and I think yours turned out well too. I think it'll be good, and I hope we're the top 2 in this pod spread. So final thoughts before we get out of here, and then I'll give any last reminders. But final thoughts for the people.
Yeah, I mean, just jump in right now. Go ahead and bet Jaden Daniels Rookie of the Year.
Spread's just trying to trigger me.
No, I mean, it'll be Brock Bowers, but
Okay. Yeah, Rookie of the Year. Who do you think? So speaking of teasing other stuff, content on the channel, you can watch Spread and Tyler every Tuesday, 4:00, DraftKings Best Ball. But starting in probably early July, you guys are going to start hammering some futures shows, right?
That's right. Yeah. And we'll be doing all that, and we'll do plenty of time. We haven't figured out if we're going to do 2 teams per show or what.
Right.
But
and that's
we'll
why
be
it probably
ready.
won't start
We want to wait till training camp comes out, and then we're going to hammer through these and just look, because there's so many fun bets you can make. The over under on the yardage for all the players. And if you're dialed in and you've been drafting since what's today's date, May 10th, you're going to have some pretty good ideas on who do you like on ADP? Do you think they're going to outperform their ADP? They're probably going to go over their yardage. They're probably going to go over their touchdowns, right? Who am I fading? Well, I probably want to bet them some under too. So we're going to be talking about all that fun stuff. And one great thing about season long, right? We talk about how, we had a good season this year, but we had a lot of things go right? We had a lot of 2-point conversions go our way. Those season long bets, I think, have less variance. And if you do your homework, I think that they're closer to paying off. Of course, you take a Nick Chubb over and he goes out week 2. That's just bad luck. And, there is that variance in that regard. But overall, if you're doing your homework and working as hard as we do, I think there's a lot of value to be presented, especially looking at players, individual players that we're going to bet their over under for their season-long totals.
Yeah. So I wanted to make that point is, that probably won't start till July, but not only are these guys going to be doing best ball drafts every Tuesday, they are going to have some really good futures content here on the Fanspeak Network later this summer. So look for that as well. So yeah, again, pay attention to the Fanspeak Network. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and be sure, again, one last time, use code Fanspeak and you can get up to, I believe, a $250 deposit bonus up on Underdog Fantasy. So check that out. Check out our articles on fanspeak.com. And again, just be paying attention to this channel, because not only will there be live drafts Tuesday through Friday, but we will have plenty of other great best ball content. Best ball all summer long. ABD, always be drafting. So for Spread,
from HMA, hold Meg accountable.
Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Can you